Well, hello. Thanks for coming back to check out another video. So, we are here today to do our next update for the Partners in Cream Project Pan. Now, before we get too into this, let me just preface this video by saying I woke up a little salty this morning. It's like super rainy, and whenever it rains, my eyes and my allergies act up like crazy. So I had all the best intentions of like, I'm gonna put on my Carolina Panthers shirt. I'm gonna use that Enigma shade and do this bright blue, like Carolina Pride eye look, and my eyes have just kept me from doing that. And so yeah, I'm a little bit in a bad mood, but hopefully that won't affect this video too much. So, like I said, this is the Partners in Cream Project Pan update. This was, of course, created by the lovely Steph and DaLin. I always have them in my description box. I believe this is our third year doing this. So it typically starts on January 10th and goes until December 10th. Then you get like a nice break off from it, which I always think is fun. I've participated in this every year. So also in the description box, I leave the last 2 years playlist, this year's playlist, and the community playlist. So there's everything that you would ever need in case you just want to like binge watch everybody who is doing this. So like I said, this is a year-long project pan, 3 to 6 items. There's a quarterly refresh, but again, I feel like if something is just not working for you, like just roll it out. You don't have to wait for the refresh. But all cream items, that is the biggest thing, no powder products. So I tend to have like, I would say a mix of like makeup, body care, perfume, like hair care, like just, you know, whatever it is that you need that extra push to work on. So I do have one item rolling out. You guys can probably guess what it is. Then we'll talk about progress items, and then we'll talk about if anything else is rolling into this. And that is all the rambling for an introduction. So let me get the items, which are right there behind me. Okay, so the item rolling out, you probably could have guessed that it was the perfume that we have had in here. I think this has been in for 2 or 3 months now. I guess maybe, I don't know. Either way, it is the second perfume that I have finished off within this project pan. So this is the Marc Jacobs Perfect Perfume. I absolutely love the scent of this. This is just like a great kind of everyday scent. Like I could feel like it could work well in the winter time too. It definitely has like the little bit of floralness from like the daffodils in it. But it also has this kind of sweetness to it, and if I'm not mistaken, I think it has like scents of almond milk or something like that in it. So yeah, I really did greatly enjoy this. Hopefully if I bring it in, you can see like it is in fact an empty bottle. Now I will say, I think I might have tallied this wrong, because when I was looking at my notes, I have written down something like 36 uses to finish this off. And so we started off with it way up here, like not even half the bottle finished. So to only use it 36 times. So yeah, I think I did mismark this, and I do apologize about that, because, you know, like there's part of me that wants to be like super accurate so I can give you guys like accurate information, but sometimes things just slip through the cracks. So either way, this will be rolling out. All right, so let's talk about our items with progress on them. So the first one we will discuss is our foundation that we have in. This is the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea foundation. I have mine in the shade 15 in Fair Light Neutral. I have been wearing this pretty consistently. However, like I've said in other updates, I didn't have a lot of good makeup days in May. And I think that the numbers of like uses for this project pan will kind of give you like show you that I really didn't have a lot of good makeup days, because I did film this like the last update on time and get it uploaded on time. So this is like the one project where it really shows you a true representation of like my makeup usage in May. Long tangent, but either way, this is my daily foundation as of right now. So if I bring it in, you can see where we've been at since the introduction, the first update, this update. I will say, I think I mismarked it for like the introduction. This was like a basically brand new bottle. It had a handful of uses on it, but I don't think that it was as high as I have it marked here. I think it was maybe a little bit lower, just because there is such a significant jump in progress between like when we brought it in versus like the first update. I will say, since this is one of those more serum-y type foundations, I do feel like sometimes I put on more of this than I would something that is like a little bit more full coverage. This is very much like a light medium kind of coverage foundation. I have been mixing it with the concealer that I brought in last time, and that's been really helpful to get it to like the coverage that I want. But yeah, this will be staying in. Okay, since we already talked about it, let me tell you about the concealer. So this is the one that I have been mixing with the Tarte one. This got brought in last update. So this is the NYX Bare With Me concealer. I have mine in the shade Light. This is like new this year, but I want to finish this off. I want to push myself to use this up because when I use this as a traditional concealer and put it like underneath my eyes burn and water and they kind of like sting and hurt. And I know, Erin, that freaks you out. You said that I should just get rid of this. However, mixing this with the foundation, I just put it on my face and I don't bring it anywhere like near my eye area, and I don't have any of those same issues. There's no like burning to my skin. There's no like redness when I take my makeup off. Like, it's fine. I think it's just there, like, you know how like if something has alcohol in it and you get it too close to your eyes, like they start watering like crazy and kind of burn. I'm not saying there's alcohol in this concealer, but I think it's something like that. Like, it's just some type of ingredient that's a little bit too harsh to be so close to my eyes, but it's okay on the rest of my face. So I will show you our progress lines. Maybe you can see it's an airless pump, so it's gonna go up. So we were like down here, now we're up to here, if I'm not mistaken. I did like put the line just a teensy bit under where we're at, but that's okay. Like, it's pretty accurate. I feel like that's a pretty good jump in progress, and I feel like it's so much progress because I am using it to mix in with my foundation. Like, I'm not using this as you would like a typical concealer, so I am using more product than if this was being used as a concealer. So I do expect this to go a little bit more quickly than I anticipated. Okay, probably should have talked about this item first because it's the least exciting. This is my Bite Beauty Lippie in the shade Virgin Daiquiri. Haven't used it, haven't touched it. Really nothing to update you guys on. It's not that I don't like it. It's not that I'm not enjoying it. Like, I do really enjoy the formula. I like the shade range and everything like that. It's just I am so close to finishing that other one. And so I'm just like, no, we're zeroing in our focus. We are going to finish the other mini Lippie from this same set. And then once that one is gone, like, we will play around with other things. So nothing really to report on this one. All right, let's talk about our ColourPop Supershock highlighter. This is in the shade Stole the Show. I don't know if this has been in since the introduction. It might have been. Either way, it's a really pretty highlighter. I find this very easy to wear every day. Sometimes I do mix it in with like other cream highlighters, or I'll mix it with like powder highlighters, but it's just a really pretty like soft golden shade. It does have like a little bit of like pink and silverness to it. So I'm really glad to be working on this because it does pair so nicely with my Ofra Pillow Talk highlighter. When I first brought this into the project, there was a good bit of pan on this already, and then we've just slowly been like expanding it. I have managed to like work all the product down so that it only takes up like half of this jar. If I bring this in, I think you can see just how much we've used. Now, I will say it's not thin by any means in this like bottom part of the jar. It's still pretty thick in there, so I don't think I'm anywhere close to finishing this off. I have finished off a Supershock highlighter before in the shade Smoke and Whistles, and it took like way longer than I anticipated it to. So I think I could have this finished off by the end of the year. However, I think come finale time for this project pan, like December 10th, it won't be done by then. But if I continue using it throughout the month of December, I could have it in my very last empties. All right, so let's talk about the cream blushes that we rolled in last time. So the first one is from ColourPop. This is a Super Shock Cheek in the shade Between the Sheets. This is a really nice, like effortless pink shade just to incorporate into like all of your makeup looks. So I'm going to bring this in for you. This is taking more focus than the Sephora palette that I brought in, simply because this is older and it's at the point where I've already had to rehydrate it. I feel like the ColourPop Super Shock Cheeks just dry out so quickly. So once I do have to rehydrate them, it's kind of that push, like I just want it out of my collection. So yeah, this is definitely going to be more, like there's going to be way more usage on this within the coming months than there will be the Sephora palette. So this is the cream blush palette that's in the shade Candy. I just really have been enjoying this. Like, I have used every shade within this palette at least one time since I brought it in, and I had previous uses on it too before actually bringing it into this project. But I will say, I think that the shades I used the most were this first shade and then the fourth shade. These don't have names on them, but this is like a pink color that's really similar to Between the Sheets, to be quite honest. And then this one is like just a really pretty fun orangey blush. I've just been on such an orange blush kick. I will leave like a full breakdown of usages for this in the description box. I'll bring it in and show it to you guys, but there's really nothing like new or exciting to note. I don't think I will do like progress pictures or anything like that with these two cream blushes until I hit pan on them, simply because just like with the nature of the product, like you really can't successfully capture a dip in pictures or anything like that. So it would just look like showing you the same picture from month to month, you know, even though I have been using them. Okay, so let's talk about the item that we are going to roll in to replace our Marc Jacobs Perfect perfume. Now, I did go back and forth on like, oh, I think I should roll in another perfume, but I've really done a good job about using my older ones while also enjoying like my newer ones. So I don't feel like I need to roll in another perfume, you know what I mean? And I have a lot of like makeup where I have goals that I want to meet on them, but I'm not reaching for them, so I'm not going to make those goals happen, you know? Like part of me needs project panning in order to meet my goals on things. And if I put it into a project and then I have to come on here and update you guys for it, I'm much more likely to have used it, because it would just, for me, be embarrassing. Like it's a little bit embarrassing, for instance, with that Bite Beauty Lippie to be like, I haven't even used this. So I'm gonna roll in a Supershock shadow. This is my last Supershock shadow that does not have pan on it. It's also my newest. It's not even a year old, so it's not like bad that it doesn't necessarily have pan on it, but it would just make me happy to have pan on all of my ColourPop Supershock shadows. So this is from their Disney Princess collection. This is the shade Down in New Orleans. I will bring this in. It's a really pretty green shade. It's kind of a topper shade though. Like I really layer this and wear this on top of other green eyeshadows, because in order to wear this as a standalone shadow and have the impact from it that I personally want, you have to layer it up so much that it becomes a little bit like cakey on your eyelids. Like that's a downfall of these Supershock shadows. If you put on too much, they do look a little off. So yeah, I use it as a topper shade. It's really lovely for that, and I do enjoy, you know, putting it on top of green eyeshadows. I will say it's like a kind of minty green, but there's definitely like blue, pink, and purple glitters in here. So I just think that makes it pretty fun. But yeah, I think you can tell like when I brought it in, there's like no imprinting left on the shadow. So I don't know like how long it'll take to hit pan. And when I use these, I do use my finger, but I try to like swirl my finger throughout the whole like surface area, so I'm not just like narrowing in on like the center of it where it's like easier to hit that pan. But either way, this is what is going to come in. So I think that I have been pretty successful with this project pan, and we are halfway through the year now. So in the comments down below, I would love to know, how are you feeling? It's the midway, you know, through the year. Do you feel good? Do you feel overwhelmed? Do you feel like you took on too much? Are you not meeting your goals? Are you meeting your goals and like blowing them out of the water? Like, I just want to chat with you guys about everything makeup and project panning related, actually just anything. If you just want to leave a random one-off comment, that's fine too. Either way, I hope you're having a good day, a good night, or a good whatever, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.